Hey, hi, hello, Agnes here, the creator of my own Ninjago series, which is still called Ninjago. I welcome all of you to my newest video that is rather unusual, because this is my first behind the scenes video of making an episode. I saw that some people asked me to do this kind of video, so here it is. Today I will talk about how my process looked like while creating the newest episode called Devil Trigger. I will try my best to explain all my steps of filmmaking to you, so you can also apply them into your own videos. So without further ado, let's get into it. I usually just do whatever I like for the set design. As long as I have the overall idea of how it should look like, I'll try to build something with the bricks I have. I sometimes look at other people's set designs and take some inspiration.
You can sneak up behind it and scare it.
My process always begins at the idea of the episode. The overall idea is most of the time ready way before I start filming. I'm constantly thinking of new ideas for my series, whether they are small or big. Those ideas usually come to me at random. Sometimes it will be while I'm watching, playing or reading. But I also get some of the ideas from real life experience. Though there are few. I keep all of my ideas in my head, because there's too many to write them out. The overall ideas come years before I even start filming the season. For example, my idea for Shadow of Blood came around 3 years ago. And now I even have the overall idea of my whole series. Though I don't recommend keeping all of your ideas in your head. Unfortunately, I don't do any storyboarding to help with the process of my episodes, because I can't draw to save my life. Although I'm planning to start storyboarding my episodes in the future. After I finish writing the script for the previous episode, I start working on the next one. While script writing, I get into more detail on how I want the episode to turn out. I take my overall idea from my head and add all of the necessary details such as the dialogue, specific actions and movements. Whenever I'm writing a script, I try to visualize the scene in my head first, and then write it down. That way I can imagine how I want to film that shot. As you can see, I add explanations to my scripts, so it helps me once I'm filming. I write down what kind of camera angle I want, and if there's any specific reference I want to use. Sometimes this won't work exactly as I wanted, because by the time I start animating that part, I might forget how exactly I wanted it to look like. So I'll have to come up with something new on the spot. The highlighted lines mean that it's a single shot. It sometimes depends on how long I'll be working on the script, but it usually takes me a few months.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Filming. The longest part of making my episodes. Once I have a part of the script done, I start animating with the help of my detailed descriptions. There's not a lot for me to talk about regarding the dialogue animation, so I'll just talk about me animating a fight scene. Since this episode, whenever I write a fight scene in my script, I try to be as precise as I can be, with how I want the fight to play out. That way I don't have to worry about thinking up new fight moves whenever I'm animating. While filming fight scenes, I use a lot of references, whether it be from animated shows, live action, or individual animators. I keep a reference library on my Twitter, with animations that can be helpful in the future. I do it on Twitter because you can find a lot of talented artists there. Now, when I'm animating a specific shot in a fight scene, I look for the specific references so I can study how other people animated those kinds of scenes. After that, I try to apply those references into my own animation. With that, I teach myself how to get better at animating. Filming a fight scene requires a lot of patience. Without it, you will quickly give up on making a more polished shot. My hardest shot took me around 15 hours to animate in a span of 5 days. It can be really daunting when animating those shots. Many times I felt like I'm not working enough, that I will never finish it or that it will never look good enough. But I didn't give up, because my dream is to make a good series with all of its aspects being great. So the lesson you need to learn while animating fight scenes is don't give up. As long as you're proud of it, then that's good enough. Just have fun with it.
California girls were unforgettable. Daisy Duke bikinis on top.
In normal animations, you're usually supposed to do voice lines first, so they match the mouth movement. But since this is stop motion, I don't really worry about that. Now, whenever I'm voice acting, I do a bit of vocal exercises before I start doing the lines. You can think of voice acting as a game. You need to stretch before a game, so you don't do any harm to your body. With hot tea by my side, I'm ready to start doing the lines.
Now empty the compartments of your pantaloons. For what purpose? And discard of your footwear as well. For what purpose? In fact, I am equipped to summon the one casually known as Little Travis on your buffoon stuff.
Thanks for that, tough guy! You knuckleheads ain't even worth the...
There's a lot of work in post-production, so I'll try to make it short. Masking. Masking is used whenever you want to erase the support of an object that is in the air. To do that, you need to take two pictures. First is the picture of the object being supported by something, and the second picture is the background. With that, you're able to erase the support in a software. I use GIMP for masking, it's free and it's easy to use. This part of making a video is pretty comforting. I can just listen to music and mask without putting much thought into it. This part of the episode was probably the hardest. I had to figure out a lot of things by myself and make it work in a way that actually looks nice. With that, I do a lot of research on how to do the special effects for certain shots, but I also improvise a lot of effects. So I just use all of the tools I have to create something. With this part, I used three separate things. First, I added a soft eclipse and tracked it onto Zane's hands. Second, I added a particle overlay, added glow to it, copied the transform of the eclipse, and masked it so it's only visible in the circle. And the third is a smoke asset that I have downloaded long ago, and simply placed it in a way so it's flowing towards Jay. With the CGI shots, I had to first build them in Mecha Bricks. I recreated the set, the Titan, and the Ninja. After that, I put it all into Blender and started animating it. I still had to do some stuff before that, like rigging the Titan and making some textures by myself. But it turned out nicely, so I didn't complain. I spent a long time tweaking little details in the animation, but once I was satisfied with the results, I started rendering. Okay, I'll come back in a few hours and see how many frames have been rendered.
5 hours later.
Okay, so I had to optimize my settings a lot so this would render faster. I could finish another episode in the time this would be rendering, without the changes in the settings.
Hey, yo, the pizza here. Oh, nigga!
My ears burn!
Adding sound effects is the part I dislike and like the most. Sound design in fight scenes can be pretty hard. You have to find specific sound effects for what you want and do it over and over again. Sometimes in a single shot I'll have around 15 audio tracks, just for the sound effects. But I also like doing this because when the sound matches the intensity of the scene, it always brings joy.
Bam! We catch ourselves a baby hammerhead. Look at him. He's so cool.
Now that everything has been put together, I add small touches in the editing, like color grading, adding credits and looking over if there are any errors. After I'm sure everything is fine, I start rendering and then upload it to YouTube.
My God!
During the time the video is uploading, I start creating the thumbnail. I usually have the character images ready before I start working on the thumbnail, so the only thing I have to do is put it all together. With a good idea in my head, I'll just place the images in their places and add some details in Photoshop. After I'm satisfied with the result, I put it onto my video and I'm done. So yeah, that's my process of making the 5th episode of Shadow of Blood, Devil Trigger. I hope you learned something useful from this, and will be able to implement it into your videos so they look even better. Now, I said that I will do a Q&A in this video, so I'll answer some of your questions now. Iron Tink asked if I'll ever do a face review. No. How do I not get cracks on my LEGO figures with all of those arm movements? Trust me, I do. Szyszka. Where do you get inspiration for your animations from? I get it from basically everything. What programs do you use to edit the episodes? To edit the overall episode, DaVinci Resolve. So remember it. Radbrick Studios. Is the Fury of Fire going to stay inside Kai, like how Corex is in Lloyd? Yes. Will any of the other ninja become vessels for a godlike creature? No. SMG Meloni Iron Team. Is there a story of how you started YouTube? I started doing stop motion because I was heavily inspired by the Chase stop motion video done by LEGO. After I saw that, I decided I also want to do stuff like that, and now I'm here. And Studios. How do you feel about the current state Ninjago is in? I don't really care about it anymore. Ninjago is kinda dead for me. What's the part of Shadow of Blood do you love the most? I absolutely love the Kai change arc. It was something completely new from the stuff I did, and had the most fun working on it. Well then, I think that's all of the questions. So I hope you enjoyed, and see you till the next video.